like 100 millimeters across.
Jeez. Were you putting up security over there?
Saturn? Yeah.
God.
What's that?
Jerry, I think that's all she needed to do,
Okay,
from what I can see.
that's good. Hopefully, it sounded worse than it was then.
Well, I mean, that's what I looked at the image. It's like, well, the COM port's not selected, or there's nothing in the screen, but it says it found it on 3.
Yeah, I probably should have looked closer at the image.
That's not your job. That's mine. You got enough on your plate.
You see the email I just sent you?
I did. Sure did.
Saturn, Mars,
Whew. I'm official. How about that?
How about that?
Okay.
CDC, cards to see. Sky charts. Chart the sky. The problem is,
So Scott, how's that camera coming along?
if you're in the underdark sky, you've got to learn to do this without using
Down and a capacitor
Well, that's good. At least it's just a capacitor.
in half.
The capacitor's cracked in half?
I don't know what happened to the capacitor. The little
disability settings, so you get all right. But also,
it was, I mean, you can see it in the microscope. It's like cracked.
No. You're not talking. Let me show you red.
I don't know, too much, like maybe 20 volts into the 12 volt system of the QHY cooler.
Did you put that amp hour battery on it initially? Your big. I can't hear you. You may have to get closer to the microphone.
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Sounds
For some
like
reason,
you
keep breaking up for some reason.
That's because the noise in the background is overshadowing him. Every noise keeps overtaking his voice, I guess, because the way he's got his microphone set up.
He's got a soft voice.
Yeah.
He's got a nice presence voice.
What's that?
He's still breaking up. Yeah. I can hear you with headphones on with your office door open better than I can through this.
All right, let's see what happens. It's the guys talking in Kent's office.
I know they're loud over here. I can't help it. So I'm wondering if you just overloaded with AC on your big battery and you fried the capacitor.
I don't know.
I think he may have plugged his AC adapter for the laptop. Which is 18 volts. It's 19 volts instead of 12.
I plugged in an AC adapter. I think I plugged in my 19 volt battery.
I think,
Yeah, 19 volt battery, right?
So you plugged in that
Should
big
have a
old
different.
battery.
Should have a different pin. Pin out.
It should. Oh well, lesson learned. It happens. I think you know an engineer that can fix it though.
They can.
Oh, if it's just a capacitor, it's just a little solder. Just match it up and you're good to go.
Yeah, and then once you put that in, something else will fail.
Yeah.
Show Jerry, maybe you can help me fix it.
Yeah, Jerry, walk Scott how to solder.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Without burning his fingers.
Don't forget the flux.
That's right.
Yep, that's right.
Richard says that NUC is a 5.5 by 2.1 millimeter DC connector.
That's the standard for 12 volts. That's what we have on the PMC8.
Yeah. Right.
Boss.
I found it one step.
That's fine. Was it in between?
No, what it was is, I guess, some like paint chips.
So it was on the inside.
It was on the backside.
You're the man. You man. Take a look at that 152.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Scott Roberts from Explore Scientific, and this is the presentation of the OpenGOTO community. This is our 90th show, so we're celebrating it with you, with Jerry.
You're breaking up terrible because of the background noise, Scott.
Oh, yeah. Tell those guys that they have to move.
Hey, y'all need to move.
There we go. Can everybody hear me now? This is our 90th program, and so we're real happy to have all you guys watching. Let's see. So, anyhow, they were listening to us with the our hot mics. So. But who we have on with us tonight is James the astrophotographer. Book Davies is on with us. Arita Durguti, I think is how it's pronounced. Or Durguti, I can't remember. I don't know how it exactly pronounces, but thanks for joining us. Mike says, thanks for the wavelet processing tips yesterday. I gave it a try and it worked out nicely. Michael Whitaker is on with us. Tim Myers is on with us. Hard day at work, enjoying an adult refreshment. Richard Grace is with us. David Ing is on with us. Martin Eastburn. Marco Pola. Bergman Scooter. Stefan, I can't see all the last names, but Stefan. So Stefan, thank you for joining us. Who else do we have? Nicole Suthar. Is it possible to still buy your Comet Hunter Maxitov Cassegrain? It's difficult to buy it right now. There are some places that may still have it. Explore Scientific does not have it in their inventory any longer. The last I knew of, Woodland Hills Camera Telescope had the last of the inventory. So if they have one, yes. If not, then no.
Her best bet would be, or their best bet would be Cloudy Nights.
Oh, and buy a used one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. Buy a used one. Make sure they registered it so you can still get the warranty. Okay, so you want that. Let's see.
That was Nicole Souther.
Let's see who was asking that. Yeah, Nicole.
Yeah, so he's with the Richmond Astronomical Society. I know him. He's a PMC8 owner.
Right. I see. I know. You know what was weird about the Comet Hunter when we came out with it, which was only about a year or two after I started the company, and I'd worked out this whole program with David Levy to. I wanted to co-develop a telescope with someone, and David and I talked about this for years. When we finally came out with the telescope, it was a sleeper. Hardly anybody was buying it, It took almost, about 7 years for it to gain the kind of popularity that it has now, and it's already past its life cycle, So that's the deal on the Comet Hunter. Maybe sometime in the future we bring out the Comet Hunter again, but it will probably be a different instrument entirely. May still use the Maxitov Cassegrain or Cassegrain. It's not a Maxitov Cassegrain; it's a Maxitov Newtonian design. Very very sharp optics, and it's very very nice pinpoint stars to the very edges of the field. There's some things that could have been done to the Maxitov Newtonian, though, to make it more suitable for astrophotographers, and they're the ones that have really made it popular recently. So if we bring it back, it will have certainly some additional features for astrophotographers. When that might happen, it may be a year or so. So anyways, Eduardo Simone says, hello, all 10 more for the big 100. That's right. We're at our 90th program. We'll have to do something really special for the 100th program. Martin says, I have a microscope, solder, and used to deal with the the O204 mills parts on PCBs. Okay, great. Great.
That's a surface mount. That's a mount specification for a surface mount component, 0204.
I see. Mm-hmm. Marco
Tiny.
says you can place an order on Woodland Hills' Comet Hunter, but it will be on their back order list. Marco says, I ordered one a couple of months ago from Woodland Hills website, but the order is still in pending status. So, yeah, we are getting down to the end of them. Space Time with Robert Wilmore. Awesome. Working and watching, and dang, Comet Hunter is my dream scope. Yep. Next time I come out with another dream scope, buy it early. Is it worth upgrading from the AR102 to the ED102 for DSO photography? I'm going to say a real quick answer is yes. You guys, I'll show you my system here in a moment. I took some video of some of the cable management and the setup that I'm doing for the portable remote observatory. So that's kind of a nice segue in there. Marco says, I'm trying to order observatory tent. The email you said you must. The email said you must email your order to explorealliance@explorescientific.com and provide your name and phone number. I did that, but nothing happened. We'll check into that. We'll check into that for you. Stefan says, I purchased my ES-102 triplet in Hawaii 2 years ago, got it shipped from San Francisco, sent it to the hotel in Hawaii, and put it in my luggage bag all the way back to Melbourne, Australia. It will be my main imaging rig for years to come, worth all the effort. Well, thank you. That is a lot of effort.
Hey, Scott.
Telescopes don't die. What is a life cycle of a telescope? There is a trajectory of marketing and life that is in every product. In the telescope world, that life usually is pretty long. Okay, sometimes they can be as long as 10 years. For the most part, that trajectory should probably be somewhere between 3 and 5 years before you come out with a new model. You have to, if you're going to be in the business of this, you have to keep coming out with new stuff, and that's part of it. It's not the first time, though, that I've seen a product get at its highest popularity at the end of its life cycle. So let's see. Brett Blake, I saw a Comet Hunter on the secondhand market. They want between $800 and $900 for it. Probably what you'll see with this instrument, I think, is that you'll see them continue to increase in value. That can also happen.
Scott, to answer the gentleman's question about the tent,
Yeah.
I just talked to Kent, and he says that they will be reaching out to people that pre-ordered them soon.
Okay, so you can expect an email. Yep, and if you don't, let us know, please. Okay, so because we will take care of it. But I made this little video up here. The audio is not great on it, but you guys, what you'll see is the ED102 that I've been working on, the ED80 mounted on top of it. It's on a G11. We have been doing cable management with it, so that's done. And we're working on I've got wheels on the tripod, so I can just roll it in and out, make it really, portable. I've also got leveling jacks that are on the telescope as well. And just to make it easy to level it, make it easy to polar align it, and so hopefully by next Global Star Party, I can actually really use it. So that would be really cool. But the whole idea behind this telescope is that it can be remotely accessed by a guest anywhere in the world, and they can control it and make images with it. And so part of that global experience, you know. So here's the little video that I did. So this is the system that I've been building out. We've got the observatory tent here. I've got over on this side, I've got kind of a control room going on. And of course the telescope with the ED-102, I can just bend that down, you can see it. ED-102 and the 80 ED, these are carbon fiber scopes sitting on top of the G11 with PMC-8. Running the whole thing with a NUC computer that is controlling not only the PMC-8 system, but it's controlling the QHY camera that will be on it, the imaging camera, which is a 163C. We've got a field flattener on the ED-102, and then I've got an ED-80 with a QHY autoguider system on it as well. So we're getting really, really close. We've done cable management on it. We've done, you know, I've purchased multiple batteries to operate different parts of the system, and I'm hoping that by the next Global Star Party that I have it ready so I can actually let it rip. So that's it. So anyhow, thought I would share that with you guys. I'm pretty excited about it. We'll probably have like a little practice run if you guys that watch the show, the regulars want to take a crack at it. Jerry and I can get it all set up and let you try it out sometime. So hopefully that comes up very soon. The only problem that I have with my camera right now is that you guys probably already heard that I burned up a circuit and a capacitor, okay, by plugging in the wrong thing into it, so into the QHY camera. So that's being fixed by our electronics guys here, and we should have it real soon. So Mike wanted to know, was that an ETX 80 in the background of the video? No, I don't have any ETX 80s here. So there are a couple of Meade telescopes here, though, that are in for repair. So I've got a couple of Schmidt Cassegrains that are here. So anyhow, but let's move on to Tyler. Tyler, I'll give you the stage here. You can tell us about, well, you were getting really excited about this weekend. What's happening this weekend?
There is a couple guys and some university professors from the U of A here, a local university in Northwest Arkansas, are putting on a Stars and Sauce type of event. It's a small event, small, just maybe 250 people or maybe 500 people will go and listen to music, enjoy some good food, company, all while being safe, of course. And they approached us and asked us if we could bring in some telescopes for some visual observing through the stars, because we'll be sitting on a hill or a mountain And I think it's a Bortle Sky 3/4. So we'll be able to see a whole lot of stuff. I'm going to take the 20-inch Dob because why not?
Right.
And we're going to take a Maksutov Cassegrain with a native focal length of 1900 millimeters, and we're going to look at some awesome stuff. We're going to educate people, just get them in the hobby. We're trying to close the gap to people that are wanting to learn about stars and space, and just pique their curiosity and just bring them in. And that's the whole goal. Kent's going with me, some other CSR reps. We're going to try to make a little live event out of it if we can, depending on cell reception there. So be on the lookout, because we're just going to overload the Instagram, Facebook pages and just go crazy with it, while being safe, of course.
How are you guys going to be safe with visual observing?
So I went to the actual store and bought pretty much all of the rubbing alcohol so we can clean every eyepiece that individuals use. We're going to set up stations to where before they even touch the telescope, hand sanitizer. After they touch the telescope, hand sanitizer. And then per each person, me and Ken are going to wipe down each individual eyepiece before the next person comes up and uses it for visualization. So we're taking every precaution that we can to be safe, and while wearing masks and teaching as well, and educating people that want to learn.
Okay. Well, that's great. And so you're bringing extra masks, you got hand sanitizer, you'll be cleaning the eyepieces, this kind of thing. So
you're going to be doing the focusers too? Who's going to touch the focuser?
It's the only people that are going to touch the focusers are the technicians that are there. We're going to make sure Kent will be there Friday to set up the initial stage. He'll try to get them in focus at that point. I'll be bringing the 20-inch Dob on Saturday, just so I can help Kent set it up as well. And me and him are just going to be the only ones that are operating the actual equipment. That way we know everything is in focus, and all the people have to do is just look through the eyepiece. If they do end up touching the focusers, we're going to clean it thoroughly, make sure it is sanitized in case somebody else decides to possibly touch it as well.
You could put a shield. You could put a shield around the eyepiece so you couldn't really touch the focuser.
No, it is true. It's true. I'll have to look into that. That would have been nice to know 3 days ago, Jerry.
I didn't know about it. I always have to put my 2 cents worth in, though.
I know you're upset with me. I haven't called you, haven't bugged you today, so I get it. But no, Scott, I think it'll be a good deal. It's my first actual star party, so I'll be able to experience what they are like and actually help people understand what they're really looking at to pique their interest and get them more excited about actual space, because there's just no telling how long this COVID stuff's going to be around. So why not start an actual hobby that's good for the family and for the neighbors if they want to involve the neighbors.
We have some interesting comments here from the chats. People are asking what is, this question about the life of a product. Part of what will determine the life of a product is its sales, its sales trajectory. But there's also just the I don't know. I mean, you have to be in the business because you kind of get a feel for when is the right time to give a product its its sunset, and so it's it's not to say that a product can't come back. You've seen products come back. Coca-Cola did it. Okay, Coca-Cola killed the original Coke and came out with new Coke, which apparently was a disaster for them. So they not so very long after new Coke was out, they brought back the classic Coca-Cola, and they've stuck with that since that time. In the telescope world, out of our line, what's lasting the longest right now is really the Essential Series telescopes out of our ED line. So the FCD1s are essentially the same models that we came out with originally. We've done some changes to them, but nothing dramatic. There's a question about, is it worthwhile going from the original FCD1 to the FCD 100 glass? You know, I can visually tell a difference between the two instruments. Astrophotographers who are doing mostly narrowband imaging, I would say no. You know, except that you might have you'd have a lesser touch-up exercise, okay, between filters. That would be true. But the astrophotographers that I know that are, you know, very advanced, when they were able to image to the FCD 100, they were really, really happy with it. So I would say it's worthwhile. Jerry Hubbell and I have talked about working equipment to, it's, you know, trying to wrench out every ounce of performance you can out of a piece of equipment before you upgrade. And there's a lot of wisdom in that, because you could just jump from instrument to instrument and spend a lot of money, but not really get big gains. Okay, might be fun for you. Might be maybe you want the latest stuff. You know, that could be too. And there's people who want that. But if you are someone that is really tapping out every last drop of performance out of your equipment, okay, trying to get every dollar out of it that you spent, then you know, you have to look long and hard at what you're doing. And if you feel like you're up against the wall because the equipment won't perform better for you, then yeah, by all means, move up. It's time to move up at that time. So
Right.
lots of ways to look at that.
I would talk about the other equipment that we have, the most recent stuff with the mount systems that we have. The PMC8 life cycle is designed for a very long lifetime in terms of the architecture and the design. There's always going to be improvements and add-ons and changes, but the way I like to talk about it is in margin. There's plenty of margin in design to accept these upgrades. And that's the way it is with the optics too, to some level, I would imagine, Scott. You're talking on optical systems, on the telescopes, you have different user-friendly features that you change around a little bit. Like, for example, the dew shield, you change that to a sliding dew shield, and the cap, a screw-on cap also. So, you know, there's little features like that for optics, but in terms of like the electronic systems, we're shooting for a very long lifetime for our systems, and in terms of the performance increases that we can get into the future, and also, you know, value to the customer to understand that this thing's going to be around for a long time, so you don't have to worry about being abandoned.
Right. Yeah, Book Davies says, I've got a ways to go before I outgrow my 220 millimeter refractor. Oh, then he said 120 millimeters. I was like, what?
That's a big one.
Big refractor. Yeah. Yeah, I know guys that actually have 10-inch and 12-inch refractors, you know, so anyhow, wouldn't be surprised. Tyler, have you tested your sanitation procedures on a small group yet to work out the bugs? Sorry if you mentioned it.
There, I muted myself. We've tested it with the group here, the CSR reps that are here at Explore Scientific. And if all the guys come in, then they all have their own each individually assigned stations, as well as helping the possible customers, or at least the people, have an understanding. If we need to, we can write up a documentation, or at least rules. Before they touch any of the equipment, they have to sanitize their hands, and then we can sanitize the eyepieces per each individual if need be. But I will discuss that with Kent when I get off the live feed here, and see what's the best result.
The other thing I have, if you want to borrow it, Tyler, I have a touchless thermometer that you can just aim at people's foreheads. That may not be a bad idea to have someone.
Yes, that'd actually be a great idea, Scott. I may have to borrow that.
Yeah. So, well, I wish you guys luck on that. So anyhow, yeah, if there's any other tips or anybody else has gone to star parties and seen how social distancing works or doesn't work, you might want to share that here. But anyhow, I think that's I think it's commendable that you guys are doing it, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there. This is going to be in Eureka Springs, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a very popular place to begin with. So we'll see what happens, and maybe you guys can get a live feed out there, and people can see what's going on. Jerry, what's happening in your world?
I've been recently. I've been working. I talked to you about this a couple times. I may have mentioned it already on the show. I can't remember, but I've been invited to join a team that has a telescope, a 24-inch CDK telescope based in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates, and which is pretty cool. That's a remotely operated telescope, of course. They have a local guy there that takes care of stuff, but so I've been working with Michael Aikens of the. Let me bring up my group to see what his. I can't remember the name of their group for some reason. Where's it at? It's on the Discord. They use Discord to communicate. So I'm going to bring that up and.
Oh, Discord?
Yeah, I'm going to bring up the Discord, and I'm not going to show it, but I'm going to look up the name of the group here. It's a Worldwide Variable Star Hunters group, and they do tests. They're a member of the TESS SG1 group, just like we are at the MSRO. So, and they reached out to me. Michael Aikens actually reached out. He saw one of our programs. Actually, I think he saw the Star Party program, one of the Star Party programs, and he reached out to me and invited me to join their group. I think I discussed the diffuser. He was interested in that. So I've been working with him. I actually spent a session last night showing him the MSRO equipment. And their system is very much like in terms of software. They use MaximDL. They use Windows Desktop, so it's very much set up similar to what we have at the MSRO. So it's going to be really easy for me to use their system, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great opportunity for me personally and for the MSRO, because I'm going to be able to get good data on dimmer stars than what we can do at the MSRO, and have our team of astronomers at the Mark Slade Remote Observatory work on the data also, and have more opportunities to observe.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. So I was out up until 3 o'clock this morning, actually demonstrating the diffuser on an actual exoplanet observation that I haven't processed the data yet to see if we caught anything. It was a 10th magnitude star, and it was the depth of the transit was only 3 millimags, which is 3/1000ths of a magnitude. So it's a very difficult measurement.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a detection with the MSRO than it is an actual measurement to get a good model fit for it. But I'm curious to see what the data looks like.
Yeah, absolutely exciting, man. That's crazy. And the scope is you said a meters class? Is that right?
It's a 24-inch, a 0.6 meter
0.6.
plane wave CDK.
Right. Okay. All right. Excellent. So, well, we've got, you can see that we're kind of all gearing up to do more and more astronomy right now. We are running into the part of the year where we're getting more clear skies, which is great. So I'm hoping that we can see more astrophotography from you guys that are watching the show. We are Explore Scientific will create a new category on our website solely devoted to astrophotography. So you're going to see more information about astrophotography on the site in the coming months, and it'll just be it'll be a link at the very top the menu. You won't see it there right now because we just voted to make those changes today. But there'll be more gear related to astrophotography, more stories related to astrophotography, perhaps things like calculators and stuff, the tools that you need, to figure out things like what is full width, half max with my camera, my system, those kinds of things. And we'll be sharing a lot of your work on the site as well. So looking forward to that. Have had some conversations with the Astronomical League about astrophotography programs, so we're developing on that side as well. And so anyhow, it should be exciting in the months to come. Let's see if we have any other questions, anything here. Michael Whitaker says he needs a clear sky. Maybe we can offer that as a product on our website next April 1st.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive. This will be really expensive, though.
Really expensive, yeah. The cost for a clear night. What we'll do, if it's not clear where you are, is we'll pick you up and put you on your private aircraft and fly you to clear skies where a team will be waiting, okay, to set up your equipment with power and internet and everything. So you'll be one of the first people to actually use the Starlink broadband internet system, and and you will have astrophotography experts there on hand to follow every step of the way. So the cost will be somewhere around $1 million, okay, for the night.
Right, $1 million. That's a bargain.
Michael says it might be worth it. Anyhow, well, I think that's our show. I think that's our show for today. We will have more. And Andrew says, I'm a visual guy who used to work with CCD cameras back when everything was SCSI.
That's SCSI. That's an interface.
This is very welcoming to all. And that's true. We have a big section on eyepieces, and we love visual astronomy as well. So, okay. Oh, what's the included food like on that trip? Anything you want, We will have a world famous chef on that trip for you, and and any kind of servers that you want, anything, back rubs, whatever you want, Yep, they'll be included. Let's see. Nicole says, for your Losmandy mounts, for any hardware replacement parts needs, or for any other hardware fix, do we have to come to you or go direct to Losmandy? You can do either. If it is specific hardware to us, like the motors that we have on the PMC8 system and those motor mounts, you're going to come to us. But other parts, like you need a new tripod leg or something, you can go straight to Losmandy for that. It's the same product. Another question. Just program a PMC8 to track from a business jet flying above the clouds. That's the ticket. That's right. So we'll just place a bunch. Maybe it's cheaper for us to place telescopes all over the world and then put you in an airplane just to control it from there. I'm not sure.
Right.
But $1 million will buy a lot. Anyhow, thanks very much, folks, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. There is no Global Star Party next Friday, or this coming up Friday. Tomorrow, there's not. But the next Global Star Party, number 16, will be on Tuesday night, and so we hope to see you there. And that's it. Let's see. How do I do that?
Right.
Bring me back. Add pin. Remove pin. Share your screen, Scott. Here we go. I'm sharing. Okay, share. And here we go.
it.